Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. Say, what did Hitler have for breakfast? Luftwaffles. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Undaunted, Battle of Britain from Osprey Games. We'll get back to the review in just a moment. I want to take a minute to ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, books on history, military history. I even post some of my lectures for my classes on there. Please check that out. Please subscribe to that channel. And now, back to the review. Undaunted Battle of Britain from Osprey Games is the latest iteration of your Undaunted game experience. In this game, one player takes on the role of the Luftwaffe as it attempts to challenge the RAF over southern England, and the other side takes on the RAF as they engage in that valiant struggle against the Luftwaffe to protect their home island. Now, at the beginning of the game, you're going to select a scenario. You're going to go ahead and make the various hex grids out of the various tiles in order to make the map there. You're going to set your tokens representing your fighters and bombers, both the Luftwaffes and the RAFs, on the board, and then you're going to get your own special deck of cards. Now, the deck will contain fighter cards, comms cards, and discord cards, and more on that later. Now, the game, of course, is very, very similar to the other Undaunted titles. It'll come very easily to you if you've played those other titles. So you draw 4 cards, and you play 1 card for initiative. Now, the card you play for initiative will be out of the game. So you can pick a higher numbered initiative card, but then you can go first, but then that card's out of the game. Or you play a lower initiative card or a discord card, which sucks, but then you don't have to worry because it doesn't do anything for you anyway. So you've got that choice. Do you play a high, powerful card or a low, not very powerful card? And that's going to determine whether or not you get to go first for that round. But either way, that card is out of the round. Now, next, as I say, you have fighter cards, you have comm cards, and you have discord cards. Those discord cards just gum up the works. You start with a couple of them, and you will get more as the game goes on. But you want to get rid of those cards as soon as possible, or just play through them. But you go ahead and you can set those aside. So you've got your fighter cards and your comm cards. Now, your fighter cards essentially move your cards, move your tokens rather, on the map, and they allow them to do different things. Essentially, when you play one of those cards, you automatically move. Okay, you automatically take a move action. You go the distance that it tells you to move. Now, what you can do is then take an action. Now, typically, your actions in these planes are either maneuver or attack, fire. And so you can choose, I'm moving, but do I want to turn? That's a maneuver action. I can go and I can turn, and combinations thereof, or I can fire. So you can't line up and then fire. And you can either try to line up your shot, or you can fire. So that kind of leads to some tough decisions there. And how far out do your guns go? What's your arc, et cetera, et cetera. So you got to figure that out. And each of the planes has kind of lines coming off of it showing exactly the directions that they can fire in. Now, when you fire, you go ahead and you look at the distance to the target, and you look at the target's natural defensive ability. And then you go ahead, you roll the die. And if you, of course, can score the number that represents their defense value or higher, you score a hit. Now, in all the other Undaunted games, if you ever roll a natural 10, it's automatically a hit no matter what. Here, however, that's not the case. And in fact, it's possible that you could take a shot at somebody, but you can't hit them regardless. They're just too far away. They're more than 10 away. And even if you get a 10, it won't count. Now, there's some other things here. You can bomb. You can actually drop bombs on targets. So there's a few other little things you can do with these aircraft cards. Now, additionally, you have comms cards. Now, comms cards are important because they let you to do certain things that you're familiar with from the other game. For instance, you have squadron comms cards that just deal with your section, rather, or you have the kind of just general comms cards. They let you do things like bolster, meaning you can take cards from your supply and put them into your deck. But again, if it's just from a specific section, you can only do it from that section. Otherwise, you can, if it's one of the general ones, you can do it from any section. You can command, meaning you can just, if you've got the command ability, you can just draw that number of cards from your deck and play them normally. You can do a guide. A guide just lets you move a plane along its path, and then you can turn it at the end of its path to face a different direction. If you have a discard card in your hand, if you play coordinate ability, you can just take that card and put it out of the game. It's gone. If you play the inspire card, if you've already played a card from that section, that just allows you to play that card again. Now you do have sail. The sail card can come out, and sail just lets you move your boats on the water in the direction they're already moving. Now, one of the things you can do is you can also go dark. If you have a comms card, maybe you don't have the actual planes on the board to work with it, you can just go dark, meaning you place it back in your supply. Now, you have an important concept here called out of comms, meaning all of your planes of a group need to be within 2 hexes of each other, meaning there could be 1 hex in between them, but no more than that. They're in comms. So when you play a lot of these actions on the comms cards, you can just play it. There's no penalties. But if your planes are out of comms, meaning if they're further than just 1 apart, or 2 apart rather, then when you play one of those actions, you have to take a discord card. Now for the coordinate ability, you have to be in comms in order to do that. If you're not in comms, you cannot take that action. So players go back and forth, they are activating their planes, they are taking shots at their enemies, they're maneuvering, they are playing some of those comms abilities, they're taking those discard cards, but they're going back and forth and they're getting all of this stuff done. Now, each scenario has its own specific objectives, and the first player to reach their objectives wins. Undaunted, Battle of Britain. So if you've watched the channel before, you know I'm a huge fan of the Undaunted games. I think they're phenomenal. I think they are fantastic. I love Normandy. I thought North Africa was great. And I'm in the middle of a campaign of Stalingrad, and I'm really enjoying that. And then Battle of Britain. And this thing is really, really cool. I would say that of all of the Undaunted games, Battle of Britain is probably the simplest. It's probably the easiest to learn and to get involved with. So I really enjoyed that it's just such a simple game. I mean, the whole Undaunted system is a very simple system, so it was cool seeing that this was simple here. But of course, when I say simple, I don't mean anything negative about that. I just mean it's simple and that it's easy to learn, easy to play. There's a lot of depth here, and there's a lot of great moments in these games. There's a lot of great strategy in these games. And this is a game, too, that I really love because I really, really like the fact that as you are playing this game, there are some really tough choices, particularly because you can do the maneuver or you can do the attack, but you can't do both in a turn, and at least not without an inspire action. So it's very cool. It's a very cool system. I love how that works. I love the choice between, of course, the cards you're going to play for initiative. Do I play that high card, but I want to use that high card, and I really want to go first? Or do I just play a discard card so I can get rid of it, and I don't have to worry about it? I'm not going to lose a turn with my regular hand. So there's a lot of great decisions in this game. It's such a cool system and such a clean system, and it's translated so beautifully here to the Battle of Britain. I really think it's fantastic. I love this system, and I love this iteration of it. And so much so that I've been thinking a lot about what they could do in the future. And so Dave Thompson, Trevor Benjamin, you guys are listening. I'm just going to throw this out there. You like it, you take it, you run with it. You don't like it, you throw it back at me, okay? But just, I got 4 words for you, okay? 4 words. Undaunted Pacific Carrier Battles. Yeah, I think, yeah, pretty good, huh? You take that. You do what you need to do to make it happen. You go. I'd love to see that. There's a lot more great iterations I think you could see with Undaunted. I just love the system so much. But this one here, Battle of Britain, is just, it's another winner. It's an absolute winner. If you like the other Undaunted games, or you're looking to get into the Undaunted games, regardless, pick this one up. You're going to love it. Recommendation for the discriminating gamer for Undaunted Battle of Britain is yes, buy it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We'd ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. I'd also ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to please check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about military history and books on history and fun things like that. Please check it out. Please subscribe. That would mean a lot to me. And we'd also ask you to please give a thumb to this video on Board Game Geek. That also helps us out a lot as well. Also, if you're a fan of the channel, you really like what we do here, I'd ask you to go ahead and please check out the Super Thanks button here on the YouTube webpage here. Make a contribution. That would really help us out, and we'd appreciate it as well. You know, ladies and gentlemen, how do you know if a person is a fighter pilot? They'll tell you.
Count Dracula! My fangs fell out when I said me.